Welcome to Tasty Classics. I'm Ben, and sat before you here in all of its doom blue glory is a Triumph TR7. Now, the TR in TR7 stands for Total Reliability 7. And this is number 7 because the first 6, well, they weren't as reliable. But this one, and this one's going to be the one. This exact one, though, has been sat for a few years and has had bits of work done to it here and there. Some of it quite good, some of it not so much. And it's currently in a few pieces. I need to make it good again. I need to make it into a reliable, drivable, usable, classic car ready for the summer. Get that roof down, man, you know? Imagine that, you've got your 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, sun's beaming, you're flying through the British countryside in your Triumph. Nice. But we need to do a bit of work before we get there. Before we get stuck into the ins and outs of chucking 12 volts into this thing and seeing if it fires up or sets on fire, what's the history of it? How come it's arrived here at Tasty Classics HQ? Well, a subscriber and Patreon of the channel reached out to me and said, Ben, I've got this Triumph and it's in my garage. I've had it for a couple of years. I'm not really going to get around to doing any more with it. Crawling around underneath in that garage just was a bit of a ball ache. He couldn't really do a lot of it, so he was like, look, I think it's time for me to pass it on to someone else. And he concentrated on his other stuff and other cars that he had. And by the end of this video, I would like to see this old Triumph, this 1977 Triumph, up and running properly again. So I want to get the engine running, and I want to see if it moves, drives under its own power. And then if we've got time in this episode, we're going to go through the whole thing. Bodywork and everything's okay. Interior, I think, isn't too bad, but I want to make sure everything works, brakes-wise. I just want to make sure you could jump in this car and take it to Cars and Coffee if you wanted to. And also, I'm not a fan of the black wheels. I think the black wheels have got to go, so I want to put something nice and shiny on there. Bodywork, you know, it's a bit of a 6-footer, isn't it? I mean, the further you get away, God, it looks like brand new, that car. But yeah, the closer you get, you start to see a couple of scabby bits. It has got a few rust bubbles and things in places, bits of, you know, could maybe do with a wing and painting and stuff. I think, well, I don't know if this is an original colour for one of these, but it was originally silver, this car. And if we open the boot, wah, you can see the silver colour here of what it was. So that was the colour that the car was originally. Not bad nick either. It's quite solid, this car. I'm not going to do any of the bodywork or anything to the car. It's good enough for me. I think there's a couple of little bits of welding that I'm going to have to do just to make it nice and, you know, good on the roads, nice and solid. But I had the feeling that the next person to own this car, they might want to paint it. So there's no point me sort of doing bits. They might want to put it back to its original colour, because I'll try and make the rest of it quite nice. So that's the only thing left to do. And the next person that owns it could be you, because what I'm planning on doing is, once this is all sorted, again, whether it's, look at the robin down there, whether it's in this episode or the next, is we're going to raffle this thing off. So one of you guys can win this classic car. So you'll have something to spin around in the summer, because we all need a classic car in our lives. That's what I do. Try and bring them back to life, make them usable. This has obviously been owned by a comedian in the past, because they've flipped the 2-litre badge around and managed to write loser there, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, great. But another reason I want to change the wheels and stuff is these tyres are old. They're all cracked, they're all perished, and there's not like loads of tread left on them. So all the tyres want replacing. So that's why I was thinking we'll just get some new wheels while we're at it. And sort of in there and stuff looks quite good, doesn't it? Doesn't look too bad at all, but we'll get it up on the ramp at some point and have a look underneath. A couple of things that aren't as attached. That is the story around the entire car, really. But that's my job. I'm going to get all that boxed off. And it's got a roof delete, which is great. I like a convertible, if you haven't guessed. And this bit here hasn't had the poppers affixed to it. So I guess I'll be learning a new skill in this video, attaching poppers to things. Never done that before, but it looks like it needs it. Nice thing though. I've cheated a little bit with this because it's quite clean. There's no mould or green or anything on it, but I really wanted to do a TR7. I thought TR7 would be quite good, and well, this is one. It's quite cool. I've always wanted to get my hands on one, and here we are. The seats aren't original, but they're really nice, quite comfortable, big sort of, I don't know what that is, weird faux leather velour thing. And it is, yeah, again, it's just clean inside, really. A lot of the cars that I do get, though, tend to just be rat's nests, like with wires. I don't know what all that stuff is down there, but it's a bit of a nightmare. So can't wait to get stuck into that. Great. Apparently, he was telling me there's some issues with the clocks, and that's why a lot of it's sort of taken apart and stuff, but there's some of the clocks in the boots. Electrics is like my least favourite thing to do on cars. Oh my God, is that the sun? Warmth, please. Bathe me in your vitamin D. Yeah, it's all in nice shape. It's got tunes by the looks of it, but no grates for them. I wonder if you can buy them or make them or something. It's got tape player and stuff there. And again, more in terms of just, why is everything hanging down? Oh God! It's the blue connector of death. Attached, it goes to nowhere. That's a Bluetooth module. What a pain. But yeah, it's really nice and clean inside here. Look at all this. Everything's a little bit... Oh, okay. Right, nice. I'm going to have to do some work by the looks of it. Nothing's attached. Yep, fine. Can we just... Ah, fixed. Cigarette lighter, I thought that was the choke. And a random switch. Every car's got a random switch. Wonder what that does. I think as the sky is blue and the sun's coming out, I'm going to take my top off. Not my top, this top. Got excited then for a second, didn't you? Okay. Ow, my hands are cold. Oh yes, easy. It's supposed to do that, okay? It's normal. Nice. Now the roof was new on this car at some point in the last 20 years, and it's in really good shape, minus those poppers, but that's quite good because that's usually a bit of a pain in the arse, is the roof. Not a nice job to do, so I'm glad that's been done. Now that's proper, isn't it? We can see that a lot better, but you can see it's clean, isn't it? It's nice. I mean, it's just sort of, everything looks good. That's the original steering wheel and stuff. Nice, quite small one, but everything's there, everything's attached. I think it just needs a little bit of screwing back together properly, doesn't it? Oh my God, more wires. Just wires everywhere. Right, they're the poppers. They're the poppers for the thingy. Absolutely no idea how to do that, but my friend is a trimmer, so I'll ask them a receipt for something. Lots of screws. Oh. What's this for, I wonder? Does it just stick to anything? That is pretty cool. I might keep that for something. Weird. These were made from 74 to 81, and this is a 77 one. The first lot were made at Speak in Liverpool as well, which isn't far from us here. The great thing about this car, and one of the things that when I was reading up on it and researching it, one of the great things that I found was that it was sold in America initially, right? 74, 75 were the American years, and it was supposed to be released in Britain before 76 when it was, and it didn't get released early. It was supposed to be released in 75, but it didn't get released in 75 because it was so popular in America. They loved it. They really, really loved the TR7 in America, and we were just sending ships full of them over there, you know, and that's great. I think that's really, really cool that it was loved by the Yanks so much, and it's a really cool shape. I really like the shape of it. It was designed by this dude called Harris Mann, and he was your wedge guy, right, for British Leyland back in the day. So he did cool things like the Allegro and the Princess, you know, ultimate wedge cars. And when this came out, it was a huge, huge difference to the TR6, which was the one before, and the other sort of Spitfires, you know, and Triumphs and stuff that were knocking about at the time. They were all very sort of classic British, elegant, you know, E-type-y style curves and lines and sweeping bonnets and things, whereas this was your sort of Bond bug wedge, you know, real just angular thing. And at the time, it was like very futuristic and very cool. And I think now it's, I don't know, it's aging better every time I look at it. When I first saw these, I was like, whatever, you know, you prefer the older things. But I think with a nice set of wheels on this, it's going to look the absolute business. What's behind this giant flap? Oh, very nice. I could, like, the bonnet's black on the inside, and a lot of the rest of the car is as well. It would be nice. You can see where the silver and stuff's been, but I can't really, there's no rot on it or anything. It's quite solid. I mean, there's a couple of scabby bits, but it's quite nice, and I think that's why I sort of went for it. And it's weird as well, isn't it? A lot of the British cars I've done haven't been that rusty. You know, the rustiest one was probably the Focus from 2007, but these old ones always tend to be fine. But they did get slated, didn't they? Mind you, the Austin 1300, that was a bit rusty. Anyway, in here should be, and is, because I'm looking at it, a 2-litre 4-pot twin SU'd power plant, putting out about, apparently when it was new, 104 horsepower, which is loads. Initial impressions when I've opened the bonnet is hardly anything's attached, and by that I mean like the brake pipes are sort of just, and there's bolts in the brake pipe things, and there's no fluid in it. Love all that. That's really good. We've got the original air filters on the SUs, which is good news. When he got it, it had, you know, it had been through the mill a little bit. He's just sort of tried to, you know, do things to make it a little bit sort of better, and then he was going to go further from there, but there wasn't, you know, tons that he could do, because whoever had it before has done the majority of the slightly questionable work. And I think as he found more of it, he was just like, right, yeah, I can't be bothered doing any more with that, so I'm not going to. And then I got the job. Hey, cool. But that looks like a good time. So yeah, we've got a couple of SUs. He's changed all these fuel pipes and stuff. I can tell they've all been changed recently, which is really good news. And the coolant pipes as well all look like they're in good shape. There is no fan. I am fully aware that there is no fan, but there's these things here which are telltales that at some point electric fan had been installed. Maybe that's a switch on the thing. So I don't know what we're going to do with that. I could potentially just get a normal fan for it. I don't know. I'm going to have a look. And yeah, sort of similar story over here. All the hoses for electricity look good. Is that supposed to go to the coil? Where is the coil? I can't see a coil. I can see the distributor. I can't see a coil. Okay, well, we'll have to do some... Is it under there anywhere? Nope. We'll have to do some research. This all looks really fun and nice and interesting down here, doesn't it? I mean, these are standard car connectors, and there's a few of them knocking about. I am going to have an absolute riot doing this, aren't I? But we've got a negative terminal and a positive terminal on a battery, so we could, once we've checked the levels now, just connect that up and twist the key and see what comes to life. What's this like in there? Is there anything in there? Okay, that's completely dry. This is going really well so far. What's the oil going to say? Oil cap. Yeah, looks all right in there. I don't even know what I'm looking for. That's pinched there though. I suppose it's still letting something through, but it's pinched. Right, what's in the oil? Whoa! Maybe it looks like maybe it's just tired. You know, stressed from work, hasn't been sleeping properly. It's not you, it's the car. Have we got anything in there though? Let's just check that again. Just over minimum, so that's fine, but really nice colour. Is there supposed to be a coil though? That is something we are definitely missing. Ah, and there's a wire here that says coil, but there is no coil. Oh, we haven't looked in the boot. Is this going to tell us what we need to know? Oh, first thing is a coil and a bracket. Interesting. Okay, so we might have to plug that back in. And yeah, this big clock set. Steve, who I bought the car off, told me that he'd got these clocks to replace the clocks that are in there because the clocks that are in there don't work or something along those lines. And he said the glass bit on this, the plastic bit, the clear bit is knackered, but the idea was just to swap that one over, that clear bit into that one, and then put those clocks in. Again, it's just something I'm going to have a little look into, and we'll pull all that out and stuff. I can see this being quite an electric based episode. What else is in here? That's windscreen washer bottle by the looks of it, some sort of vessel. Oh, and a load of brake pipes. I think yeah, and windscreen wiper bits. A few things to put back together. Okay, windscreen wiper motor and the housing, and I take it in there's all the nuts and bolts. Nope, fine, okay, that's good. What's this? Oh, that's a master cylinder. Interesting. Again, I don't know what works and what doesn't in this car, but I guess we're going to find out. Right, battery time, connect it up, see if it burns to the ground. If it doesn't, then we'll carry on. If it does, then thanks for watching. I've just had my dinner and waited for the sun to come out just to try and get some rays, man. Nice. Let's just do this. Can't see any sparks, smell anything. Okay. Let's see what we've got on the dash. That battery is connected and I've charged it up. It should be a good one. Right then. Is that... What's on? I can't tell because of the sunlight. Absolutely zilch. Nothing at all on the key. Is that even connected back there? Oh my God, there's nothing at all on the key. Right, no lights, nothing. What about, there's a horn there? Nope. Indicators? Nope. Wipers? Oh no, they're not even attached, are they? Hazards? No. Lights? No. Fogs? No. Okay, so that is 0 out of 10. Absolutely nothing, no life. Where'd you begin? What are we going to do? So, what have we got? Well, Jesus Christ, well, whatever that is, it's completely live. Does that look... That looks like it was connected to something, maybe one of these? And again, that... Is that supposed to be... Oh, I can hear something. Right, okay. I don't like that being there so much. I could do with that not being so live and attached to things. Let's just... get off. Now, is this red wire supposed to be in there, I wonder? It looks like... Does it look like it's been crimped? I can hear stuff coming on when I touch it. Can you hear that? Whoa, what was that? Okay. Right. I'm just going to throw this in there. I don't want to sort of like permanently attach this just yet because I am concerned that I maybe need to test more stuff. before we do that. So let's just try and sort of wedge it in for the moment. A bit of bulbage, a bit of light, side lights. Okay, all right, okay. Still absolutely zilch on the thing. Fog lights, turn those off. Well, what was that for then? Oh, it went down. Just pop that there while we play with this switch so I can see what's happening. Okay, well, I can confirm we have one headlight bucket that raises and lowers. And that's the entirety of it. Okay. I was just looking in the engine bay and I've just found this little needle and thread. And this. Is that what the car was built with? It's got Lucas written on there. Maybe was that supposed to go in there? You got this free just to, I don't know, repair the wiring loom or something? Again, a lot of stuff just sort of laying around. Why is, you know, what was this for at some point? Maybe some driving lamps or something? But is that the main loom? That goes down to the fog light thing there, and yeah, so maybe that was, if the fog lights, if that goes down to the fog lights, maybe someone was trying to tap into them to add stuff, extra fog lights and things, and generally just making it a bit more sadder than it probably should be. That's your main loom down there. Nothing sort of very colour coded. That's an earth going into there. And again, just this random brown live wire. It's definitely live, isn't it? Yep. So, what's that for, I wonder? It's coming directly out of the loom down there. Is that supposed to go to... But we've got another wire over there that says coil. Did we? Sure we did. Yeah, there's that wire there that says coil. So, but then I can see like taped up stuff down there with brown things going down. Where's like your starter motor switch thing? And there's some writing on that. What's that? Coil plus. Coil negative. Nice. Right, okay, so that is the wiring for the coil. I can see that, but there's just nothing else coming to life. I've got no start motor and I've got no dash lights. I know that looks like it's on, but it's just because it's a bright colour. Right, so just a good way to do things is sometimes to mess about with the wires down here. Like, I could, now this is off, I can test the back of that and see if we've got any power going to the ignition. Everything looks plugged in apart from that there. Yeah, nothing looks like it's not plugged in apart from all these things that aren't plugged in. And that, I think, is a speedo drive from the back of the clocks. Unless the clocks aren't connected and it's all loose behind there. Ah, that doesn't look very connected to me. I need my BMW screwdriver. There's no wiring in the boot or anything that I can see. It's been taken out. I can see 2 screws missing from the top of this dash, but there's a few other screws in there. So let's start removing so I can take this off and get to the clocks. I think that's possibly as good a plan as any, isn't it, really? I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. Hate electrics. I just start taking things off until it works, putting things back on. Oh, one thing that I have sort of immediately considered is having a look and seeing if there's any looms available. So like, is there a split loom for the dash or for the engine bay or something. How are you held in? Okay. Access. We need that. Oh, why can't it just need a starter motor or something? Right, well obviously they weren't connected at all. How many miles has it done? Remember this, 76,366 or... $66,000, well, 56,366. That's, God, such low mileage. Okay, that's big wire disconnected. Electrically test. Oh my god. Oh my god. Have you got any other games? I'm not sure I want to play this one. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's got a massive household chocky block just dogged into that there. Is any of this needed for sort of continuity to the ignition or anything? Does stuff have to be plugged in? Because there's a load of big wires here, but these are all broken. Let me give you a closer look. I mean, that's a worry to start with, isn't it? But I can see that there, and I think that might just be... But you can see that wire's so flimsy coming out of that. I just checked the start motor and it wasn't for that. Leave it as it was for the moment. And again, you've got this big earth thing, if that is an earth, whatever that is, hanging down there. All these here. So, this one. This is, I'd imagine, goes to all this stuff on the back of the clocks. I cannot wait. Oh my god, look at it all. That's why we've got another set of clocks. I mean, look at the state of that. That's been absolutely battered, hasn't it? All of these wires, they're just broken. Can you see that? They're all snapped and broken, and there's just, it's a lot. It says something there, let test without the battery connected, I don't know. All into the dash there. Oh god. Oh god, it's not getting any better. Oh no. What is all of this? Am I going to have to take the dashboard out of this car, I wonder? Oh dear. Definitely looks salvageable, but I wonder if I could just buy that, and if I could, where does it plug in to the car? You know, how far do we go? Does the... No, that doesn't work either. Okay. What about the fan? The fan? Nope. No stereo. Oh! Relay for the horns. Relaying. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. I'm just going to have a little look in the Rimmer's catalogue and see what's available in terms of like wiring harnesses, because I can see plugs and stuff, and like that there is pretty grim. I don't think that's factory at all. I think that's been added in at some point. I mean, and again, that's sort of a bit snappy there, but it feels nice and connected anyway. We could check to see if there's any power going to any of these. I've got power going to it, and when I put the ignition on, I've got power coming out of two other places, and then I think, you need three hands to be able to do it, but I think that one there is the starter motor one, right? And that one, white and red, looks like this cherub here, which goes into this one, which has gone to this thing. So I think that might be our start motor sort of wire, but again, I've tried holding that in and twisting the key to the start motor, and I can't hear anything, but it does look like a white and red wire that goes into the big loom is our sort of starter motor thing. And again, I haven't got great visuals down here. yeah, again, can't sort of see where the start motor loom would be, and there's no white and red anywhere up here, so I'd imagine that one must go straight to the start motor or something. But I'd have to jack the car up and stick my head underneath to find out by the looks of it. Before I do that though, let me just go and consult the catalogue. This is a catalogue from Rimmer Brothers themselves. There's loads of cool stuff in there which I'll go through. It does TR8 as well. TR8 was one of these, but it had a V8 in it. It had the 3.5 litre Rover V8, which is so cool. Electrical. Okay, here we go. Yeah, and then nice Harris Mann story. You can go through all that and read all about it and everything. It's really, really interesting. There's such good... It's not just a catalogue, it's everything you need to know about the car, which is awesome. I've also got Haynes' manual there and another book. Yeah, How to Restore Triumph TR7. Body, trim and mechanical restoration. So potentially bugger all about electrics. Oh, electrical. The majority of motoring breakdowns are electrically related, yep. A brand new harness is undoubtedly the best solution to unreliable electrics. Am I going to put an entire wiring loom in this car? I might not be totally adverse to doing that, after what I've seen. Interesting picture there that was showing the dash electronics. Quite a lot to take out though by the looks of it. Yeah, so not loads in there to do with electrics, but what about the wiring harness, main looms? Okay, so it looks like you've got all your relays, fuse box, and more relays down there which go into switch gear, that is, and then into the sort of where we were before, and that, see that there, that's where it connects. So you've got a body harness, if you can read this, you've got a body harness, that's one loom in itself, which we could probably leave alone, we don't necessarily need the body loom. And then you've got a gearbox harness, which again we will have a look at, but again might not need. You've got an engine harness, which again might not need, it depends what it looks like, but if it is available we could do it. And then you've got the main harness, which does your headlights, which is possibly going to be the dream, isn't it? And then so that's going to be easy enough to do. Round there, some earths and stuff, and then it'll go through the dash where it connects to the main harness, so we can just connect it there. And then, so it's going to be dashboard out to do that. But we don't have to go around all the rest of the car, it could just be headlights up the side, down into there. And I'm looking for like battery sort of side of things, and I think battery might be on the engine harness. We could possibly do the main harness and an engine harness and try and sort of stick that together and see if it works. Body harness, I need to go and see if any of this is in stock. Several hours have passed, well maybe not that long. Spoken to Rimmers, the wiring harness, the main harness is no longer available. And I phoned them up and they just said because there were so many changes to them, it was not really viable, and I can't find anywhere to do one. He said the only option what we can do is if you take your one out, give it to us, we'll remake it, and I haven't got time for that. So I'm going to have to make this one work. Cool. And I've just had a bit more of a look into a couple of things, and one thing I did was open the glove box, inside of which I found that was open to start with, and these schematics. So obviously there's been a problem and someone's been going through it all and trying to make it good, but it's great that I've got it. So what I've been looking at is where is it? And here. So on my battery I've got this brown wire and this red thing here, and what I think the case is that these two brown wires went into here at some point, right? And instead they've thought, whoever's done it, that this is bad, right? And then they've taken the brown wires and they've just put them directly to the battery instead. One of those brown wires goes to the ignition and gives you power, and one of them goes to fuse box and stuff down there. So it's all starting to come together, and that I can make that better without using the house jockey block and things. I can put new connectors on it, reconnect it all up, clean it all up and check it all. So I'm starting to understand it, which is handy, because I'm not very bright. This has got a lot of stuff on it that I need and needs to work. So what I'm thinking is to take this bit of the dash off, glove box, all that area there, get my head stuck into that fuse box type activity down there, see what it's all like, make sure everything's connected nicely, and then clean up this bit of the loom that was all cracked. So check I've got continuity and just insulation tape everything to make sure we don't get any shorts and to make sure it all stays together. And I'll check that I've got continuity down to here and all that sort of stuff, and then I can just plug this all back into the clocks, get everything down there back into the clocks, try and rebuild it slowly as I go. And then the reason I wanted to get all this out is I need to seal this better, and I don't know if you can see there, but I had a look at that, and that was one of these horrible machines, and it was just completely knackered, so that's fallen off there. I've tried that. I don't think that's anything to do with the start motor, but it should obviously be connected, so we'll fix that as well. So there's a bit to do, and there's quite a bit to take off. So I think it's just going to be a case of pulling stuff out, putting it all in a pile, making the loom work, and then putting everything back together as fixed as nicely as I can. And when I've done all that, if the start motor still doesn't work, and the start motor I think I found as well is down directly underneath this manifold here, so it's right down there, which is handy because I can see where it is now. And I just need to get to it, so I can maybe even take the bonnet off so I can get into it from the front and just check the wiring on that. There's a few things that I need to do, but I think I'm not going to be able to do anything or get anywhere or make the car run properly if all this isn't done. So I'm just going to crack on and do that. Alrighty then, what a lovely sight to behold in my lovely TR7. There's a lot of it in a cardboard box. What a good start. Is it running yet? How's the engine? What if that's broken as well? We're not going to know until we get it going, but it's so clean, this car, and there's no rust. You know, looking at all this sort of stuff while I'm going, I'm like, it's solid, it's clean, it's in good nick. So there's no point not doing it. Let's, you know, get this car nice. Anything can be fixed, can't it? I found this, electrically tested wrists, wires and cables limited. So wrists, I think, did all the wiring and stuff, and Lucas, and they were together doing things. I'm not 100% sure, but what I've gathered is that these are wrists Lucas connectors, and you can still buy them. So if you wanted to put your car back to sort of factory standard, you can still buy these, and you can still buy the connectors and stuff, which is awesome. There's a place called Three-Way Components that does it. However, I'm not particularly interested in getting this back to like a concours condition. I want it to be reliable and good. So what I'm going to do is replace these with sort of good modern connectors that I've got in stock. You know what I mean? I don't have to buy and wait ages for, which is what I'm going to do with this stuff here and this stuff down here. And anywhere else that's just, I mean, I don't even know why that's on there, because there's nothing else connected to it. It's just, you know, all that could have done there is just cut the cable in half. That's, and one side's not connected. I bet if I pulled it hard enough, it'd just fall apart. Anyway, I'm going to just go through the whole thing and just look at every component and go, right, does that look okay? I'm going to reference my wiring diagrams and just sort of make sure everything is, you know, nice and nothing's gone wrong anywhere like there. It's you know, it's not too bad, this, really. You know, it's like there, I think that's the starter solenoid there, not the starter solenoid, sorry, the starter relay, and that's the big red and white job going to it there. So again, it's just going to be a case of pulling all this out and just making sure everything's working and we're getting continuity and stuff and that type of thing, really. And then when I put it all back together, I can just make sure, you see how like that one there's sticking out a bit, so that one might not work or it might fail soon. So it's just pushing all these things home, making sure everything's good, tidying things up, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. In the Haynes manual, it's got a fantastic sort of step-by-step, there's like 30 steps to taking this thing out. I didn't really pay much attention to that, I just wanted to see where the bolts were and then pull it out. But when I go back in, I'll do the reverse of that and I'll just make sure everything's spot on as it goes, which I think is going to make this car just a million times better. And while I'm doing it as well, see like down here, I imagine this is all for a stereo, all the stereo wire in there, and like I don't know what these green lights are for there, if they are lights. Well, they are, yeah. But you know, look at the state of that. It's just not cool. So I'm going to go through all of this and maybe try and wire a different stereo up and stuff while I'm doing it, because I might as well while everything's out. Or I could just, you know, cut the majority of this crap off and tape up and mark up what each wire does, and then when I do come to put the stereo in it, it's much easier. I'm going to have another look on the internet tonight, do a little bit more research, because again, if I could, it'd be so nice to just plug and play a brand new loom into that instead of all this. I don't know, it would be nice. I haven't got the colours of cables and stuff to make my own, or the patience, because I'd have to buy the right connectors and it'd take me forever, and I need to get this thing going. Today's going fantastically well. I've just sort of boxed off that side there, and as I was doing it, I was removing any sort of wires that didn't look like they needed to be there, including this big long black one. And as I was chasing it back through here, I found out it was going to the starter motor relay, and someone's lopped off the red and white that goes to the starter motor relay, and instead they had this wired directly to whatever was going on over there a moment ago. So I don't know why they've cut that off, but I need to check for continuity between there and then reconnect that, which is just a bit mad, isn't it? But the annoying thing is I haven't got any of those relay connectors, so oh, I could just connect it to that. Oh yeah, so maybe if I just connect that to that, like so, we should be back to where we were going. I don't know why they've done that. Maybe they didn't notice the split in the plug or something, or they were trying to hotwire it. I've also fixed this one down here that was broken. I've soldered that, put that back on. There's a lot to go through and you've sort of got to do it quite methodically, but thank God for these, because it just tells you what everything is, like start motor relay, red and white wire, all in there, you know, so thank God for those. Crack on, see you in several hours. If I had a stereo in, or if someone else adds a stereo in, I've got black and white speakers which goes to these down here, and then I've extended this ignition live up to there, and that's your earth there for your radio. That one was a bit of a tough one to do, but I've managed to do it retaining the original connector, even though I don't have any of those pins. Just going to check all these fuses, and I've put all the fuse box back together because all this was dangling down and in the way, so I've put all that back together, and I'm going to tie wrap that up there somewhere, and see how that's falling off there. I'll make sure that goes back on, just try and stop any rattles and things, try and get all that into the corner where it lives. Nice, they're all looking superb. I've just got that bit to do up there, and then I can start building it all back up, which is pretty nice. I've done as best as I can with all this. Ideally I would have liked a new loom, but it kind of is what it is. Now starts the process of putting everything back bit by bit, getting everything connected up properly, and then when we've done all that, we can sort of try and find out why nothing works. You still watching? Good. Nearly there. That was a pretty nice job. I'm pretty pleased with that. I've just chucked an old Panasonic stereo in there just to sort of plug the unsightly hole for the moment, but I mean, all in all, I'm pretty pleased with that. It's rock solid, every screw's in every hole. It's dynamite. I mean, it's still not going to work because there's all the wiring on the engine side, but I know that all that should be right. So if it doesn't work, it's on the other side. And at least if we do get it running, that's a big job of putting this car back together that we don't have to do. I'm going to pick this up again tomorrow and we'll get cracking with it, but I'm dead pleased with that. And as the Vitesse was, this is becoming a very, very nice car to work on. I enjoyed that a lot. It was just a nice job. And I did it all with a Phillips screwdriver and a 10mm spanner. Oh, and a socket. 10mm spanner and socket. And a Phillips and a flathead. But yeah, nice interior, really nice. Now we've done all that, it's time to sort all this out. Get rid of this household connector from the 1980s and throw it into the nearest river. Let some fish rebuild something with it. It's just not needed. Goodbye. And I'm going to reattach it to whatever this thing was here, because this looks like it, you know, it can and will work. I don't know why they got rid of it. It's got, you know, voltages and things, so we're going to reattach those to there as they should have been. Squeeze! Overcooked that one slightly, but should be all right. That's one on there. Okay, so now that is kind of roughly how it should have been from the factory, but probably not exactly like that, but fairly similar. What's that supposed to be plugged into, I wonder? And why is it just hanging down there? Oh, that might be for where the windscreen wiper thing goes. That's cool. And that's what that might be for as well, the mystery black wire. Ooh, let me have a look. It's just trying to like activate your brain, isn't it? Because this light didn't pop up and everything down here looks very disconnected-y. That's sort of going into there. But then it kind of is connected as well, and a lot of this stuff that isn't, I don't know what's, you know, why isn't it? Are they supposed to be together? They're not. And I think the starter motor is connected up properly as well, but you might be able to tell me better if I sort of lower you in here. Can you see? Does that look okay? It's hard, I can't get my head in there, so Now that these two things are attached, all that's left to do is to connect this, hope nothing burns down from what I've done in there, and then fingers crossed we should have dash lights. Right, come on then, you blue meanie. So it looks like that stuff was on, maybe. Got anything else on? Oh, an indicator and a side light. Nothing there. And one there as well, but no hazards or indicators this side. Why is this? But the headlights on the back are working. Well, that doesn't look quite right, does it? There's no reason we shouldn't have lights in here now. Come on. Whoa! Oh my God, what happened? The boot closed. It was in gear. The starter motor worked. I've got an indicator. Indicator's working. Okay. Okay. Any dash lights? Oh, I didn't see any dash lights. No dash lights at all, but the starter motor made a noise. Listen. Whoa, that's half the battle. Why don't the dash lights work? Maybe it's just the bulbs. Were the bulbs in there? Can't remember, they should have been. Maybe they're blown, I don't know. I'm sure all the bulbs have been transferred over from the old one to the new one, but I can't remember now. Right, I need to connect this coil up. Let's connect the coil up, and then we'll see if we've got voltages to the right places. It's a little bit of a pit of electrical despair. No, it's fine, it's fine. I am, though, super pleased that the starter motor span round. That's great news. The rest of it is, you know, not as important as the car actually running, is it? But that's cool, that's good news. Reconnecting battery. The dash lights problem is something that I could probably diagnose fairly quickly just with this multimeter and taking the clocks out again, so it's not the end of the world. I was more pleased about the start motor, but what I want to know is if we do actually have ignition and we just don't have ignition lights. Do you know what I mean? So at the moment, that's coil neggy, coil posi. We've got nothing, and then so that should be ignition fully on now. Come on. Yes. And right, we've got 12 volts at the coil. That's huge. So it should run. The car should run. Everything should be okay. There's a fuel filter down there. I don't know what the fuel's like in the tank. It hasn't been sat for donkey's years, probably only about 4 since it last had fuel in. So I'd imagine it might be okay. I could check for a spark. Should we check for a spark before we do anything with the fuel? And then while we're checking for a spark and turn it over, we can see if anything fills up in there. Yes, that sounds like a great plan. Pop that in there. Can you see properly? What we're aiming for is electricity directly to there. Okay, that is a negative. There is no spark. Why not? Have we got anything at the distributor? Thankfully it's completely buried down here. It's going to make it super easy to work on. Probably check if that's got spark, couldn't we, just quickly? That's interesting. No spark from the coil. Even though the coil's got power, she's not sending us a spark. That should be going bang, 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 bang with a massive spark, but it isn't. Oh, I can see a spark there, but it's a tiny little spark. I wonder if the coil's bad. Needs a new coil. I've replaced the coil with this one here, which is the wrong one. It's too fat. It's too much of a chode, so it doesn't go into the bracket properly, because there's a screw underneath the bracket that clamps it all together. It doesn't do that, and now this is because I've had to change the connector. This wire is too short, and I can't turn it around the other way, or it'll fall out. Apart from all that though, it seems to be working, and hopefully now we're going to have a slightly meatier spark. Yeah, I mean, it's still not brilliant. But it is better. Have we got any fuel yet? No, nothing down there. Here's a mechanical fuel pump on this, isn't it? Yeah, it's there. Okay, right, well, let's pop this into that machine there. We still haven't looked at the points, actually. Okay, that's one in, which is enough just to test it. Right then, do we have spark to this mad dog? Yes, spark. One, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got spark. Okay, still no fuel. We need to chuck a can of fuel in the tank because it might be just completely empty. Annoyed that there's no ignition lights, but spark and start motor is pretty good, because at least I don't have to mess about with that start motor, because it's right underneath. I'd have had to probably get the bonnet off or go from underneath the car or something, and it would have been a bit of a ball ache. And I'm sure that's just a bulb issue. Must be, because everything seems to be working. So cool. A lot of the other bulbs are working, like the indicator flash bulbs working and stuff. We need to try like main beams and things and stuff, but let's just see if we can make this thing bark off first, yeah. Here's a fun fact. This car, because it was made for the American market, America discovered that leaded petrol was sort of making the people all a bit daft, and they got rid of leaded petrol before we did, so they were running around in unleaded before us. So this engine is unleaded prepared already, even though it's 77, probably older, you know. So yeah, that's really good. Don't have to worry about valves and things blowing up. I'm not going to put all of this in, just a bit. I'll save some just in case we need to try it with a different fuel pump or something. Everything's plugged in properly and clipped in over there. Spark plugs back in. I've just taken the air filter off just to have a little look at these, and they feel amazing. Feel like some of the best SUs I've seen in a while. Look at that. What about this one? Yeah, that's so nice. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a nice steady drop of your big pistony thing that sits inside here, so everything should be all right. That's my fuel filter there, and again, nothing's come through so far, but everything's connected up. Let's just try cranking her a bit more, and we'll just watch that fuel filter now that we can see it. Hoping to see some fuel spurting out there any second. Should be nice. Might have to get the battery pack on it. I think we do. That's all she wrote. I've just noticed something down there without a cable on it as well. Stuff missing off everything. There's like a sensor there and a cable that's just sort of come off. It looks like it should be attached to that there. Now I've brought with me this can of hope and the choke's all the way out. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of this in and see if it'll bark off with this. Oh, immediate bark offage, come on. Just with a little can of welcome back to life fluid. Right, get it running a little bit off this, and hopefully it'll make the fuel pump go faster and pump some fuel around. I want to see some fuel coming from that filter. Oh my God, she sounds sweet. Come on, fuel, pull through. Come on, fuel. Come on, petrol, you should be coming by now. Come on. What's the problem? Right. That was wicked. She runs and she sounds mint. She sounds so nice. Can we take one of the... Oh no, it hasn't got any brakes. Right. Thoughts? Gather? What an absolute gem of a little Triumph engine. I'm absolutely buzzing with that. I mean, it's only done 36,000 miles, hasn't it? So, still no fuel in there. I'm going to disconnect this now, and maybe this, and maybe I could put that into a bottle of fuel and see if it sucks up from there, because the fuel pump's here. You can see that there. So I could, yeah, I'll get a pipe and I'll attach it to that there, and I'll just run it down here into a little bottle of fuel, and we'll see if the fuel pump works. Because if the fuel pump works, it's happy days. And we might just have a blockage in the tank or something, but I don't know, it all looked pretty clean, didn't it? That fuel filter does look horrendous though, so maybe that's blocking it. Absolutely made up that she runs though. That's a big, that's the majority of the job done there. Getting the thing running, making sure the engine's all right. I mean, we don't know a lot else about it. I've got no fan or anything, so we can't really get it to temperature and stuff. Right, you know, we can start ordering some parts now. Just while I'm sorting the fuel on the Triumph, if you want to support this channel, you can do by entering the raffle for this Audi. A couple of videos ago, we got this thing sort of all just made super nice. It's now got a brand new tyre on it. Superb. This was a resurrection from a few videos ago if you've not watched this channel before, but in the description of the video there is a link and you can win this car on the road ready to go for £1. Just £1 for a ticket. And every ticket you buy really helps this channel. So if you want to win an Audi TT, it's a 1.8 turbo Quattro, you can, it's there. And if you don't want to win the Audi, if you want to wait to see if this Triumph gets raffled off, in the meantime, you could get yourself some merch. We've got some really cool stuff, air freshener, stickers and things, and a really smart sticker book. With all the cars that get featured on the channel. The Audi's on there somewhere, look, there it is. So yeah, really cool. The Triumph will be on there in next year's one. But for now, there you go, some stuff you can do. But just remember as well, if you can't, you know, financially support the channel, don't worry. I don't mind. We're still, you know, mates and stuff. It's all good. Just watch the video. That's enough. Everything I do is for free. But if you want to wear some cool stuff, you can. Okay, let's see if that sucks anything through now. Oh, don't fall off. It's hard with twin carbs, just getting the, making sure you get the aim right with this. It's like a computer game, it's great. Come on, fuel pump, come back to life, come on. Nada. Has it sucked anything through though? Not a drop. We could even set this machine up here to go directly into the fuel filter, into the fuel pump, and it'll gravity feed fuel into it. And maybe if it gets the fuel pump all wet and petrol-y, it might come back to life a little bit, which would be so good of it. Okay, maybe. These are the coolest things. If you search on eBay, someone worded me up on this like a year or so ago. If you search for like, I think it's motorcycle temporary fuel tank or something, they come up and they're super good. It's a funny colour, that fuel, I know, but it should make it run. Right, I can see it going into the fuel filter now. That should be wide open. I can see it pulling fuel in, I think. Come on, you beauty! Listen to that! That is running off this. This gloop. I don't know how much of this is being helped by the gravity or if that fuel pump is working. Come on. Right. Do we dare give her a little tickle? Oh, she's a beauty! She's like brand new, this thing. Listen to her. That sounds so good. She's got a very distinctive wobble to her, which I quite like. It's half of a V8, isn't it? So that's why it's doing that. It's great. Look, I'm sure that's pumping fuel in. I'm sure it is. Oh, have we got a leak? Is that the fuel pump leaking? What's leaking? Oh dear. Something is having a leak. Okay. Far from ideal. Petrol that's leaking as well all over that hot engine. Anyway, nice, no fan, but that's all working down there. It's all spinning around nicely. Alternator's working. Well, I don't know if it's working, but it's spinning round. It does sound really well. It does, it does. Okay. This is interesting. I'm gonna have to switch her off though, because there might be some coolant go around, but I've not checked anything to do with coolant. I won't mind giving it a flush, putting some new stuff in and a fan and stuff. But this is really good. What I really want to do though, before, let's just switch her off. Before I do anything else, is I want to see if it moves. And if it moves, I'd like to just drive it down there and then into the workshop, and then we can have a little look underneath. I can see what parts I need for the car, just to get the brakes and stuff working again. Maybe get a new fuel pump, because that, yeah, it's potentially a bit sad. Just want to make sure there's enough, or at least some water in there for now. There was something in there, that's good. So if we are going to run it, at least there's something circling around. Will it run? How good? Just on the key. It's a little bit, it's fine. Are we getting a charge though? It would seem we are not. So we've potentially not got a working alternator. Don't know why. There's a few things to fix with this car. Right, come on you beautiful old thing. Is everything secure? Please. Let's have some nice mechanicals. Oh, I've got a dash light, and it's the fasten seatbelts dash light. Ridiculous. Okay, so the clutch feels like a clutch, and I can hear a release bearing there. I've selected reverse. I've taken the handbrake off. Oh yes, you beautiful thing! Oh wow! Oh yeah, there's no brakes. Handbrake works, thankfully. That is the lightest, nicest clutch feeling thing ever. Oh, at least that works. Why is it always electrics though? Oh yeah, because it's British. And we're really good at electrics when they're brand new. After that though, oh, just put the choke in. Listen to it now. Oh shit! Keep forgetting about the brakes. Sounds good. Reverse. This engine's nice. It's a smooth classic car. Remember, no brakes, no brakes. Oh my God, it's a dream. Yeah, fasten seatbelts, lights, well illuminated. Oh, main beam lights illuminated as well. Headlights aren't even on. God, this thing sounds so nice. Okay, switcher off. Literally, the majority of the job boxed off. Brakes and electrics, that's what we've got left on this thing. Because that, I can feel it. You know, I get a sense. And Triumphs, they're bloody good cars. I'm starting to really like Triumphs. In my sort of, you know, rankings of British cars, Triumphs are getting well up to the top. And they're one of the only manufacturers, you know, British manufacturers that are still going. Granted, they don't make cars anymore. But if they did, I bet they'd be wicked. I think the fuel thing stopped leaking. So I think maybe just like a dry seal has sealed itself back up, which is really nice. So there's nothing there now. And it just sounded so sweet. Would it just fire up again now, I wonder? I mean, listen to that. That is a nice car. Where's the throttle on these things? I could feel an awful lot of raw horsepower there. And no smoke or anything. This thing has got potential to be a nice car. Right, let's get it up in the air. I just did a very quick bit of mechanicking before I put it on the ramp. Just connected the fuel line back up, and she's been running for a little bit now, and she seems to be sucking fuel from the tank. I mean, she's still running and there's not much in here. And there's still fuel in there. Running off her own juices is super good and important. Right, up in the air, wheels off. Oh, interesting. What the hell? Why are you being so weird? Better. come off. So strange. There's 4 sort of weird, mismatched, cracked, old, damaged, dry rotted tyres on pretty okay wheels. And these things are just hubcaps. I've had a sort of brief look online at what wheels I could get for this because I don't want black anymore. And the only ones are the classic sort of Superlight things. I don't think this will look right on Superlights because it's just a bit too late for those. But they're a bit too curvy and this is a bit too sharp edges. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to ask Cheshire Tyres to come down and stick 4 brand new tyres on there for me, and then I'm going to paint those, make them look all nice, get them silver again with some lacquer and stuff. First impressions, we might have done all right here. Not sure what's sort of been happening here, but that could do with a bit of paint on it, I think, before it starts to rust. And this hole here is where, through here, lives, I think, the other end of this brake pipe, which I'm hoping is in the boot, so we can get that. Oh no, it's a flexi there, isn't it? Yeah, so that'll be a flexi, which I don't think I've got, so I need to get a flexi on order. That's annoying, because I was hoping to have the brakes done on this today, so I could test if anything else needed doing, like calipers or master cylinder or anything. But it's okay. Pads and discs look like they were new, 20 years ago, so that's fine. Calipers don't look like they're in any sort of state of disrepair at all. This wing is the worst bit on the car by far. That's a little bit of welding there that needs to be done, so I'm going to put a plate over that, whether it's in this episode or the next. I'm going to get that boxed off because there is a couple of other plates on the inside of the engine bay I'll need to do. It potentially would benefit from a wing, but I mean, you could repair this one really, because they're held on in bit of an annoying way, so you probably could, but it's not something I'm going to get really stuck into, just in case the other owner of this car, potentially one of you guys, but you might want to stick it back to silver, so there's no point me doing anything to it yet. You guys can have a play with that. I'll do all this stuff, get it all nice. Over here, I mean, this one looks pretty mint, and again, inside here, yeah, that's what, oh look, that flexi there, that flexi's really kinked. Shouldn't really be like that. Should be attached in a different way than it is there. So I'll do something with that. Everything nice. And again, up in here, just like, it's clean, isn't it? It's nice. Could do with a bit of a, get yourself under here with a wire brush and do some stuff. What about the back? Again, just looks so nice. Everything really good. It's obviously had like quite a bit of love, this car. A little bit there, this little sort of lip here, which you could potentially do, but I don't know, it's not too fussed with that really. All the main bits, the main structure's pretty sound, and the arches are, again, very, very clean. And again, it's a very, very similar story over here. Just nice and solid everywhere. What's it going to be like underneath? Was that in there? Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, clean. Good. Outer sills look decent. Obviously this is part of the wing gear, so that's the only bit that's not the best. I was just walking over to this then, and look what I've spotted. The fan is on this side. So it must be, I don't know, sucking or blowing or something. I did think they were supposed to live on the other side, but I might be wrong. Maybe it didn't, because there wasn't the space on the other side. But yeah, that's going to help either way, just sucking some air through there. And again, really nice and clean, everything's super solid. Look at all this cross member and everything. God, look at this. Oh right, shiny bits. Very shiny. So it's had some work. Look at that cross member there, that subframe, sorry. Yeah, looks like it's had a replacement or it's been refurbished or something, but that is mint. Look at it. Wowee. Oh, look at all the headlight stuff. That's dead cool. That's for manually raising and lowering the lights. It is absolutely mint, this thing. Look at that, look at the chassis of it. Got all these wiring up there as well. Oh my God, look at the engine as well. Super clean. Oh, what have we got leaking here? Ah, that looks like the oil filter. is leaking oil filter housing. Not a bit annoying, these oil filter things, but yeah, we'll have to get that sorted. And that there, which I think, what is that? Is that oil pressure sensor? Potentially this little wire there. Have to put a connection on that. God, it's super clean though. Look, you can definitely tell it's had some work. Everything's really nice on it. Look at this chassis. Oh my God, look at the floors. Stainless steel. Oh my God, have we accidentally bought a brand new Triumph TR7? Look at the inner sills there. This thing is top. Oh yes, please, look at all this. Look at this. Oh, she's an absolute minter. Oh wow, okay. This is a nice one, a real nice one. Nice stainless steel exhaust. A couple of little bits, you know, you could do here and there, but oh God, you know, that's bugger all that. The car is super clean and nice. All the brake pipes are like been done as well. So what's missing? That's a braided hose there, that's really good. Why was there like 3 brake pipes in the boot though? All seems to be attached there. Look at all this. I can see the brake pipe. Look at all that new handbrake cables and everything. This has been looked after. This has had some stuff done to it. But they've just not managed to get it over the line. I don't think, you know, I don't know how much of this Steve did. I don't think he did lots of it. I think he bought it sort of like this a few years ago and just, you know, there's so many issues with like electrics and things. It just sort of got parked up really. But yeah, look at it. It's proper clean. I'm well happy with this. Right. Starter motor wire in there. Yeah, that looks all sound. That wire could do with tie wrapping up there, making a bit more better. Fuel filter looks all good, nothing leaking anymore. All the stuff up there looks super clean as well. Definitely needs to, we'll get an oil filter and we'll do an oil change on it. And I'll try and stop this leaking while we're doing that. A couple of cables look like they could do with tie wrapping up to places. That is a proper nice car. Do a couple of number plates as well. Can't keep everything. Don't keep all the cars. I've already got a little convertible Triumph. Don't need another one. This is going to make someone a nice car. Right, what do we need to get? I need to go and sit in the office, get rimmers on the go, get some stuff ordered. Alternator, I don't think it's the wiring. I think the alternator might be goosed. Some brake bits, braided hoses. Right, I'm going to have a little order of stuff. And then when I've done that, we'll do what we can do today and just wait for some parts. Starting to order stuff then, and I thought I'll just check it one more time just in case, now that it's had a bit of time to warm up and stuff. She's fixing herself. God, it sounds so sweet as well. This is a proper nice little car, this. Right, okay, yeah, order parts. I've just plugged the wiper motor in because I just want to see if that works as well. Which one's wipers on here? Oh yes, look at that! That is so mint. Right, okay, wipers are good. It's also interesting that there should be a VIN plate there and there isn't. However, I do have, under all of my stuff here, a massive folder of paperwork for the car, including a nice heritage certificate, proper one. So it's got all the VIN chassis number and stuff on there, which is great. But yeah, nice. Date of build 1980. I thought it was 70. I thought it was 77. This thing, GHR 101W. Why didn't I spot that? It's not 1977. Why was I saying 1977? Maybe because it's a TR7. It is a 1980. That's cool, isn't it? Oh look, the boot light works. What about washer fluid? that works. And there is a dash light, but it's not the dash light that I want. It says fasten seatbelts. This is going well so far. I'm glad I spent the time just pulling the dash out and doing some bits to it, you know. I'm glad I did that because, you know, if I hadn't done that, I would have been panicking, I think, and things wouldn't have worked. I want to drive this on the road. Where should we go for a road trip? What are you thinking? I've got an idea of where I want to go, but it might not be until episode 2 that we end up doing that. But I've got an idea where I want to go. The blue Meanie is starting to become my blue best friend. I was just in the back playing with the headlights because that's not right. You've got one, I don't know what's going on, but it's not right. So I was having a little bit of a play, and then I heard a noise from the front of the car, and I was hoping it would be this. I don't know, how is this? Why? How? It's come to life. We've got headlights. We've got 2 really nice headlights and 2 side lights. It just popped up on its own. I don't think it was me pressing anything. It literally just popped up. How cool is that? Pop-up headlights are just the best. And they're there. And it saves me a load of mess. I was just searching around then for headlight wiring looms and, you know, diagrams and stuff, and just like, right, how am I going to tackle this? And it fixed itself for me. It's like Christine. I'm so pleased with that. This is brilliant. This is really, really good. We're edging closer to sort of being able to whip this around the block, because I've ordered the brake hose from James Paddock, and I can pick that up tomorrow morning on my way in, and then I can at least, hopefully tomorrow, get all the brakes working, which would be super, super good. If I get all the brakes working, I'd be dead happy. That would be really, really cool. And in the meantime today, I'm going to try and reinstate the wipers and do some jobs underneath, just the... I need to replace a bit of bushing and something else I'll show you in a second. But yeah, I think we could be all right. I might see if he's got a coil actually and grab a coil for it as well, because that's not the right one, and it could do with being less floppy around as that, you know. I'm trying to get my head around where all of these curly bits of pipe go, and you know, what the hell what is it? It's some sort of, I don't know, distribution block thing and compensator. Anyway, I've been trying to work it out. Stuff in there, nightmare. Like, do you know? I don't know. But this is why I really like rimmers, and I always talk about rimmers, because look at this. As I said before, it's not just a catalogue. It's like I looked in the Haynes manual, and there's nothing that looks like this in the Haynes manual, but that is amazing. That is exactly what I need to know. Every single bit is properly, nicely mapped out, so I can just copy that, make sure everything's hooked up. I can see exactly what's supposed to go where. Thank God for that picture, because that would have been a face ache, real face ache. So I'm just going to put all that back together, really. Even one for the back as well. You can see where all the back stuff goes, but that's all there. I can see that one coming in from the back. It's a pressure reducing valve. That's what it is. Right, dead smart. Let's get it all boxed off. I know I make these bits look quite quick when I've sort of speed them up and stuff, but I cut so much out of it, like especially with this bit here where I had to go into the office and sit there searching through Google Images for so long to find like where exactly that brake reducing valve was mounted, and you know which way round it was mounted, and you know all this sort of stuff, because the Rimmers book helped, but not as much as you know, sort of seeing one in an engine bay somewhere. And while I'm doing all this and I'm putting the windscreen wipers back on and all that sort of stuff, I would like, if I can please, because this car's quite clean, so there's not going to be any section where I, you know, get all the green off it and wash it like there usually is. So I want to say a huge thank you to all of the new Patreoners, all the people that have joined up to my Patreon since we last last did this, on the last Resurrection car. And yeah, I'm going to put their names on the side of this car as I'm running around like a headless fly trying to work out where bolts go and why this doesn't fit and all this type of thing. So a huge thank you to all of these guys. And if you want to sort of jump onto the Patreon, that'd be awesome. Come on there, it's pretty good. They get some good stuff, like I send them things out every now and then, and you know, like stickers and stuff. And over Christmas I think they all got a copy of the sticker book and things all included. It's mainly about the extra content though. I put videos on there of me going to collect all the cars, so they know about them before anybody else. And it's like, you know, me sort of having a brief look at the car initially and just going, right, you know, this is what I've managed to pick up today, can't wait to get stuck into it, that sort of stuff. It's all good fun. So thank you so much again to all the new Patreoners, and thank you so much to all of the Patreoners, because without you I can't afford to just jump on the computer and order this, or just randomly pay, you know, 250 quid for a set of tyres on a Monday, you know. So it's just, it really helps to sort of allow me to do all this stuff and get these old cars from sitting in someone's garage to being back on the road and enjoyed. King Richard's just tipped up. He's been helping me with, so we've now got a full ensemble of lights at the front, which we know about, which is great. Just sort of going through things bit by bit. The indicators are all working, and we've got, I fixed the rear lights, so we're just the wrong way around. So this is the headlights at the back, and if you wouldn't mind, sir, could you just press the brakes for me, please? And we've now got brake lights. What are results? And not only that, we've got windscreen wipers, which are slightly, they could be better, but they are what they are. The washer jets are all put back together, all the pipes are, but they don't work, so I need a new washer pump. What else have we got? Does the horn work? No, no horn. What's that? Did we work it out? I don't think we did. So I just got a couple of little bits else to sort, and the brake pipes, they're all lovely tightened up, good as gold, all ready for brake fluid, and my brake hose there. And I found a little grommet that lives in there as well, which is great news. So not far off being able to run this thing down the road. I'm so pleased with how this thing has come on so far. Done so much that wipers done, brakes are almost done. I've just got one brake hose and then bleeding to do tomorrow, which is amazing. Hopefully they'll work straight away, and I might try and get this kink out as well. But there's a couple of little things here which could really do with doing. That has gone all splitty, very sad, and this has also gone all splitty. So I'm just going to buzz that off, take that out of there. I've got another you know, plastic thing, whatever this is called, rubber thing here, just to make that all nice. And I think this is why you should never throw anything away. In the old parts department over here, I've got a couple of these. I can't remember what the hell they were from, but I kept them. I've got the feeling they were from the Austin Ambassador donkeys years ago, and I wonder if that will fit this. I mean, it looks absolutely perfect. How's it held on the other side? Oh, good old-fashioned cable tie. Now, will it stretch over this track rod end? So I don't have to take the track rod end off. I know what will help. Nice. Cut my boot in 2 pieces. Okay. Nice. Knackered old boots. Nice new boots. And everything is hopefully now nice and slippy. So this one can easily find its way home. No. Everything's too slippy. Oh, why did I use the smallest screwdriver I could get my hands on? Give birth! It's like when Jim Carrey came out the back of that rhinoceros. Oh, nice. Nice bit of new grease on there. You know, these are proper handling cars, these. We want to keep it that way, don't we? Difficult. Not difficult, easy. Never, ever, ever throw anything away. How do you do this bit when you can't get a purchase or anything? Easy. Just 2 fingers. No, too hot. Oh, this is so much fun. Okay. I'm not as good as I thought I was. It's a little bit smaller than the one that we took off, but it's not a problem. It doesn't, you know, that's fine. These things are designed to stretch wherever you want them to. Been doing this for about 3 minutes, but it feels like 3 hours. I wonder if this engine's had a rebuild as well, because the block's painted red there, and it does sound pretty darn sweet. I want everything to be slippery sometimes, but not right now. Just aimlessly wandering around now, trying to find a tool that doesn't exist, because people usually put the right parts on their cars. But waste not, want not, you know. I've just thought it's the same width as the bloody thing. Why don't I just cut that? Yeah. You can't not fit if you're not there. I can't believe I didn't think of this 10 minutes ago. It's because it's got a lip on it, which is good for keeping it secure, but for getting the repair one over it, not so much. And we're on. Yes, satisfying. Oh God, I'm so good at mechanicking. That one doesn't even really need a tie wrap, but I'm going to do it. Goodbye. Track rod ends are good. Just go and grab one of those from the box. Allergic to doing a good job. Nice. Perfection. Okay, and send that home. Tiny little one for the bottom. There we go. So nice, no messing track rod end, and this is superb. And as you can see, it's all nice and tight around there because there's a lip on this bit here, so it's not going anywhere. Look, it's amazing. And yeah, no crap's going to go in there and destroy your steering rack, because everything felt like it was quite nice in this car, so it's nice to just do little jobs like that to keep it nice, you know. Right, tomorrow, brakes, and then for the first time in a few years, we're going to send this thing down the highway. This side, marvellous, like a brand new penny. I mean, this is a little bit of a funny shape, but that's fine. Beautiful. This side I have unkinked. However, this connection here, I'm just not massively sure how good it's going to be. I don't know how to describe it, but essentially it's been sort of dogged about a bit, which is probably why it was all kinked, and I don't know how good that is sealing onto that, or, you know, pulling the brake pipe down onto this flexi. So we're just going to have to wait and see when we try and bleed it up. I've put some chemicals on all of the bleed nipples. I'm going to get my bleedy thing. We're going to fill the reservoir up. I've also been busy tucking a load of wires. I extended that, where's it got, that thing there? Just so we've got that all working and nice, whatever the hell it was. I think like an oil pressure sensor or something. I don't know. But yeah, so we're getting there. Not bad. Ah, won't you have a little cup of tea, Father? Just a little cup. Just a tiny cup. Oh. Not going as well as I'd sort of, liked there. This bleed nipple snaps off. I knew it was going to. They just looked like absolute mush. Might be another trip down to the parts, guys. Might just get a couple of new calipers, I think. Just bang them on. Don't mind so much. Not the money buying the calipers, it's just a 2-hour bloody round trip. Could do without. There's only one on the back. It practically just fell out, that one. That's good. Weird that it wasn't sort of tight though. Story of this car altogether, isn't it? Don't know sort of how well you can see that there, but they are all just, I mean, they've been soaking all night, but they are pretty mush. Like, I don't know what this one's going to be like, but I kind of just want to put a new caliper on it anyway. But yeah, let's give it a go. 2 out of 2 dead bleed nipples. Bugger, what a pain. So yeah, it's just mush, isn't it?
Welcome to Rimmer Brothers. To speak with a member of our sales team, please press 1.
Good morning, Rimmer Brothers. Happy speaking. How can I help you?
Hi, mate. I'm just wondering, I've just been looking at your website for a couple of calipers for a Triumph TR7.
Well, the left-hand one is in stock. The right-hand one is the one we're waiting to come in stock. There is a new version, but we're waiting for that to come in stock as well.
Right, okay. Yeah, they're a bit thin on the ground, aren't they? There are no there's no calipers. On eBay, they're like 500-600 quid each. It's really annoying. So essentially, I'm not driving this car today on the roads. That's really, really frustrating. I really wanted to. I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to take these calipers off. I'm going to have a bit of a look inside them and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not going to do it in this video because there's a few other things I want to do. I can take it around the yard. I can bleed it from the brake pipes as much as I can just to give us some pedal. And that might help me sort of see if the master cylinder works and all that sort of stuff as well. So I'm going to try that first just so I can see if there's anything else I need to order. I'm going to get some repair kits and all sorts of other stuff. But that is a pain. Everything was going potentially a little bit too well, wasn't it? So yeah, a few jobs to do, and this pipe that I said was a little bit sus is weeping, which very, very frustrating. So, and that's the big long pipe, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to have to I might just cut a section out, make another one going down to there. I don't know. Just again, all a little bit frustrating. And you know, get a new one of these on there because that one's, you know, been twisted for a while, hasn't it? Gathering up more parts, which we'll probably get into in part 2. of the Triumph. But for now, let me see if I can get some sort of brakes just with what we've got. Probably worth mentioning, I obviously did get in contact with James Paddock Triumph spares as well. However, no dice. Nothing from them. Right then, let's try and suck some juice through this. Oh, yes. Assistance in the car. If you could please press the brake. Is that as hard as you can? Good news on this side is I think I've managed to get that to stop leaking. Maybe. And press brake as hard as you can. And on. Nil pois. This is in a really annoying place. You can't get a spanner onto it because it's too far set into the brake drum. So I have to use this. So I can't attach a thing to it. So I'm just bleeding it straight out into that bucket. Down. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Up. And down. Okay. And down as hard as you can. We have got some brake there. Amazing, right, let's just do that a little bit more. Okay, so are you up? Okay, down, 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 down. And then hold that brake down. This might not be all she wrote after all. They said it couldn't be done. They said it was impossible, it was unsafe, it was a bad idea. But I'm full of bad ideas. Other side. On. Off. We've got enough brakes to be able to move this thing around and have a little spin in it. I want to get it outside. I want to do some stuff. I want to flush the coolant. I want to see if the fan kicks in. That is starting to have a little weep again, actually. Do I dare try and tighten it up even more? Just renewing these coil connectors a touch before we put this new one on because they were a bit flim. Strength. Nice. And this one comes with its own little house, which is nice, isn't it? Let's get this big chungus on there first. Oh God, it fits so well. And then Posy, you're on that side. Right, is it going to just fire up? Is the battery attached? Has it got enough charge in it? Did I leave anything on overnight? Choke out of gear. Hey, come on! Wicked. Off the ramp. Let's just test the brakes in here dead quick before I crash it into the Panhard or the Audi. It's a double pumper, but they do work. Perfection. Quite nice looking oil as well. Not the best colour, yeah. Let's get it flushed. Oh yeah, oh God, that's disgusting. It's like black for some reason. Right, it's coming out of there like brand new now, so that's good. Tidy, okay. This electric fan setup here has got a sensor in this pipe and it's got a little dial down there so you can decide when the fan comes on. I just want to know if it's going to come on at all, to be honest, and that I'd be happy. I mean, I don't know, so we're just going to sort of, let's wait and see. But she's ticking over really healthily now. I'm hoping when the thermostat opens, she's going to drink some of this water and then I can put some coolant in it. Your engine ideally wants to be whirring away at sort of 90 degrees really, and I've got this little device which tells you how hot things are. I mean, that's just a rocker cover there, but if we go down to the exhaust, woof, she's hot. But we can also check the radiator. And I can do this as the car's sort of warming up and just make sure that nothing's overheating. And I'm going to do that while I'm having my dinner. And then if all is well and the fan kicks in and stuff, then we'll move a couple of things out of the way and we'll take it down the road. Well, not down the road, but down the estates. Hearty chicken multigrain soup from Waitrose because I'm fancy. It's not, it's because I just live near Waitrose. Thermostat housing almost on 70 degrees, so not a million miles away. We're about right sort of heat wise, but on there, like, it's just that pipe's not heating up. Radiator again, just not sort of massively heating up. The fan isn't kicking in. Thermostat again, not massively heating up at all. It's in a bit of a weird place, that, isn't it? It's far away from everything. So obviously this lot's going to get a lot hotter before that does. But nothing's getting hot, nothing's overheating. Just to see if the fan worked, I got this red wire and I just attached it to the positive on the fan. Draws a lot of current. I don't know how this fan really works, I'm not massively clued up, but you've got a sensor there which goes to here. This is a negative, which is, I think, is just earth to the body, and then you've got one wire which is your positive, which is the that there. So I think it's just a very easy all-in-one solution, but I don't know where it's getting its power from. You know, that's where it's putting power in, but I don't know where it's getting its power from. I can't make any of the markings out or anything. There's no other cable going to it to sort of make it work, but there's a few cables around here that, you know, is it that one there that I've been sort of messed about with? I don't really know. Need to have a bit more of a dig. Right, I've had this multiple meter here, and there's I've taken a photograph of this so I could read it, and underneath here, because I can't get my head into this bit, this spade connector here should have permanent 12 volts going to it, and it hasn't. And there's a few wires here that you'd imagine it's just one of these that have fallen off, but none of these have got a permanent 12 volts going to them. Unless that one's just snapped in two, I wonder. Ooh. The bad news is it's just started to absolutely hammer it down. Good news is, despite almost nothing else working on here, the blowers work. Might need to glue those in. We have heaters. This car is completely functional. That's great news, isn't it? Really? How good. The other fantastic news is I found a positive. That one there was a positive, so I've just moved everything round, attached it to this, and now the fan does work. And you can adjust it so when you want it on, when you don't want it on, you can decide what temperature it comes in. You're probably best having a play with that over time, but I'm just going to sort of leave that going for a second and see how much it cools things down, you know. But that's awesome. So pleased with this car, how far it's come. I've got hot heaters. Having hot heaters in your car, it's pure decadence, but it makes it real, makes it livable, makes it usable. You know, especially in an old British car, heaters, man, it's very, very, very important. And all the switch gear works perfectly, you know, works really nice. Just change it to the screen there, red hot. It's just absolutely superb. I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm annoyed that I've not got any tacho, any volt gauge, no fuel gauge, no temperature gauge, but despite it not being the right time, the clock is in fact working, which, you know, 1 out of 6 ain't bad, is it? But we'll have another look into that in the next episode when I sort of get all the electrics and stuff sorted on that, try and get some more dash lights and things. But what I'm going to do now that I know that this engine is good as gold, while I'm waiting for it to stop raining, hopefully, so we can take this thing around the block. Mind you, we've got windscreen wipers. We go in the rain. Should we go in the rain? Yeah, okay. But I'm just in case we don't have to, I'm going to tidy the workshop up because it's a bit of a mess after the last week on this. Love it though. Just noticed an ashtray. Oh, nice. And these as well. Oh, yes, look at that. Oh, come on. What a thing. It would appear that I do love a Triumph. Huh. The one light that works on the dash for the seatbelt not being connected does actually work. When you connect it, it goes off. Let's turn this fan off. Oh, it's a bit too warm in here. Oh, it sounds so good. That's a little bit too fast, actually. I'll have to do something about that, try and detune it, you know, it's just too quick. Windscreen wipers, yeah, lovely, because it's raining. What do you want me to say? The thing is, well, it's a lovely little classic car. It's a little bit of a dream, this thing. Steve, if you're watching, thank you so much for the opportunity to get stuck into this TR7. Always wanted to be round one, always wanted to get my hands on one, and I've done it. You know, this is great. I've really, really, really enjoyed it. It's interesting getting your head around how manufacturers do stuff, but this one in particular, Triumph, always seems to do stuff quite nicely. Can't believe the brakes work as well. Sort of snap both bead nipples. I mean, they don't. I wouldn't take it on the road, but they work. You know, enough to sort of tool it round here. Work fine. No sort of rattles or bangs or shakes or knocks. It's quite stiff because it's a sports car, but it's really warm and nice and comfortable in here. It's not like, dare I say it, like the Spitfire, which is, you know, you can't hear yourself thinking that, but this just feels like almost like a hardtop. It's raining outside, but it's not raining inside, which is really good considering this has had a roof delete. One thing I really like about this car is that all the locks work. Dead cool. I mean, you could just sort of unclip the back. I think you can unclip the back, I'm not sure. Yeah, you must be able to, and then just climb in that way. Ignoring that though, that's dead cool, isn't it? Pretty secure. Lovely stuff. She's not quite over the line just yet. A couple more jobs I still need to do on this car, but she's gone from abandoned project, a car that was in a lot of pieces with a lot of problems, to being something that I would probably, if I had to, because the brakes do work, it's just a double pumper, you know? But I reckon this would drive to the south of France now. Genuinely, I do think it would. And that's what I sort of wanted. That's what I, you know, set out to do at the start of this episode, is just make the car run nicely. There's a few more things I'd like to do. I've got the dash. I'd like to see if I can get some more stuff coming to life. Like, I don't know why the tack doesn't work. I haven't checked the speedo actually. We'll do that when we're on the road. But I'd like a few other things to work on the dash. All the lights and everything are now working. I want to sort the oil leak. I would like to do a spin-on oil filter conversion. We're going to do that in the next episode. And then, yeah, brakes, new calipers, or at least one new caliper and a rebuild, because there's only one available, and a few other little odds and sods just to make it that little bit nicer and sort of turnkey ready to go. If you want, you can enter the raffle for this car early. It's going to run until the end of March, okay, for this car. Now, I put it up early, so, because probably a lot of people are going to watch this video and part two maybe less. So it's good, you know, if you want to get yourself a ticket for £1, now you can, early, you know, but you don't have to. You can wait till episode 2, because in episode 2, which I'm going to start filming as soon as some parts start to arrive, so I'm hoping to have it out to you next week, we'll get this thing over the line. And I want to take it for a big old road trip. I want to take it, I'm thinking, to the National Motor Museum, the British Motor Museum, and I just want to have a little look around, see if we can find any other Triumphs while we're there, because I just wouldn't mind having a look at a few, you know. So we're going to drive it down there. It's about a sort of 4 or 5 hour round trip, so I need to make sure this thing's in fine fettle, which, I mean, we're very, very close to being, but yeah, there's a few little finishing jobs. I've got to sort the poppers on the roof. There's a couple of bits, but we're going to get through them in the next video, so wait for that. Have a little look out for it. I guess I'll see you then. And thanks very, very much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed getting my hands on this car. And I'll see you again soon. Bye. Oh my God, what are you going to do with the rest of your night? It just, well, it could be so boring, couldn't it? But, well, I've got a solution for you. Me and my friend WYNNE, who is an ex-RAF pilot, he did search and rescue in helicopters, and he did fast jets, which is very, very interesting. We sit in a pub and we just tend to talk rubbish, and sometimes I've been told it can be quite funny. If you want to watch that, it's called the Wheels and Wings podcast, and the link is in the description of this video. So if you fancy just sitting there and having a bit of background noise, or do your ironing, wash the dishes, put a bit of Wheels and Wings on, and yeah, the link is up there, click on it. And we're also on Spotify, but it's better on YouTube because you can see us in the pub drinking. We've just got ourselves drinks. I've got a cider because it's good to start with a cider just to get your sugars right up.
Oh yeah.
After the booze from last night.
Yeah. I've got a Guinness because it's food.
That is a food drink. This is, the ashtray's pretty cool. A year to remember. It certainly was.
It's getting to the point where you can only just...
Yeah, we can only just remember. Right, let's put the camera down and get stuck into this, yeah?